drinking pretty heavily.
Were you there? Ended up with a very ugly situation with Amber. So
Mr. Depp, with respect, trying to respect the court's time and the jury's time, that was not my question. My question was simply,
when
you
you
would
take
agree,
5 minutes to look for a
you would agree,
document.
you would agree that on. Let's pull up Exhibit 500, please. 500? 500. Defense Exhibit 500.
Yes, I'd like to see who I lied to.
Sometimes drink whiskey in the mornings too, right?
Isn't happy hour anytime?
You can't say that you carried cocaine in that box?
No, but it looks like it would fit some cocaine.
Stop right there. Before we continue on to this video, I want to tell you guys about FadeGrips.store. They have some amazing merch along with hats, hoodies, shirts, grips, and more grips. They have all the grips. They have glow-in-the-dark grips. They have camo grips and much, much more. Dude, use it for style. Use it for tactical stuff during gaming. It's amazing. I highly suggest them. So please, please go to FadeGrips.store and use my promo code SPIKE678 for an 8% discount. So without further ado, let's get right back into the video. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We got some breaking news. Not really breaking news, but kind of breaking news. A juror has spoken out on this Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. Has given insight to how him and the jury found their decision, I guess, in this, and found Amber guilty of all charges. So I'm gonna go through this article and read what what this particular juror has said. So basically, the juror, it's an anonymous juror. He is not, as far as I know, he has not given his name or anything. All I know is that it's a he, so it's one of the guy jurors. I had an interview on Good Morning America. I couldn't find the actual one on Good Morning America, but I know it's on there somewhere. He said that during the trial, when she was on the stand, when she was crying, per se, they called it crocodile tears, which I thought was freaking hilarious. He said that it didn't come across as believable. It seemed like she was able to flip the switch on her emotions. She would answer one question and she would be crying, and 2 seconds later she would turn ice cold. Didn't seem natural. I am so glad that they noticed that, because you saw it. Literally 1 second she'll be all in tears, crying and all that, and then the next she would be all pissed off, angry, have some kind of anger presence to her. I'm so glad that this juror and all the jury has pointed out, and I'm pretty sure the reason why I'm gonna make this real quick. The reason why I think that the deliberations took as quick as that they did was because they all agreed on Amber being guilty. I think that's the reason why. And I'm 100%, most likely 100%, that the reason why it took them so quick to come up with a decision was because they know Amber was lying. I think what took them longest was trying to figure out damages, I guess. And that was it. And he also said, this is to Depp, saying that Depp seemed, a little more real in terms of how he responded to questions, which is perfectly true, because you could see, yeah, he stuttered a lot, and he talked slow. Well, I wouldn't really say he stuttered, but he talked slow. he chose his words very carefully, and he had evidence. And see, what people need to understand is that the reason why Johnny Depp won is because he had the evidence to back up what he was saying and what his witnesses were saying. It's one thing if the witnesses and him are saying one thing, and then the evidence is showing completely different things, but the evidence lines up with exactly what him and his witnesses are saying. Unlike Amber's side, Amber's witnesses were all contradicting each other, and it was terrible. And then it did, none of it added up with the evidence. Even on her end, it didn't add up with the evidence that she presented. So, because Amber, she twisted all the evidence that she brought in. She twisted it the context of it. We all know the context. It's pretty obvious. Like when you have two pictures that are completely the same angle, same, background, same everything, but yet you only change the saturation of the photo. It doesn't really add up. It's not, you didn't change the lighting because you could tell if there was like movement in the picture or something like that. You can tell by that. It was pretty obvious they were both same pictures. One was edited and one was not. So, yeah, no, he just goes on, talks about other stuff. I think so that they did say, that they were both abusive to each other. But see, here's the thing. He was only, and the juror has even said that he was verbally abusive, which, okay, not okay in some cases, but come on. Some of the things that he said, I probably would say, well, but maybe not. He's more poetic about how he comes off, which I love, but everyone says mean things over a text and frustration, but never acted on anything. Like he never was physically violent with her, and that's the key issue in this. To add on, they said that they had their husband-wife arguments, which every couple and husbands and wives, they have arguments. They were both yelling at each other. I don't think that makes either of them right or wrong, which is true. That's what you do when you get into an argument, obviously. But to rise to the level of what she was claiming, there wasn't enough of any evidence that really supported what she was saying, which is absolutely true. And it's not that there wasn't an actually no, this is what he said, is that there wasn't enough or any evidence. So yeah, they even point out the fact that some of the claims that she was making, where are the evidence? There is none. Like the sexual abuse claim that she was claiming, it never happened. There's no medical documents, there's no proof, medical records, anything. I think the only thing that would really be relevant in this situation, I don't think they would really bring pictures. I mean, maybe, I don't know. That's up to the judge whether or not, if there was pictures to bring it in. But definitely medical documents saying, hey, yes, she suffered severe damages in this area due to this certain event. But there was none of that. They were they considered her the aggressor in the relationship by the majority of the jury. So they also said that if you have a battered wife or spouse situation, why would you buy the other person, the aggressor, a knife? If you really wanted to help Johnny Depp get off drugs, why are you taking drugs around him? I am so glad that they brought this up. I'm so glad that they didn't fall for any of the, I don't do drugs or whatever, type shit that she was saying, you know, there's two situations here. Let me go over the first one. He was absolutely right in the fact of, and I'm so glad that the jury was smart enough to basically read or basically look at all of us, or basically, you know, think what all of us were thinking and saying over the past couple months of this. Like, if you claim he's an abuser, why are you buying him a knife? I don't care if it's for a birthday present, an anniversary, marriage present, whatever. You know, I don't care if he likes knives. Like she said, you know, he had a fascinating with these certain types of knives. Okay, who cares? Why would you buy him one if he is the abuser? You know, it's one thing if he uses his own knives against you or whatever, you know, but you're kind of instigating, if he is the abuser, you're kind of instigating it a little bit, you know, for buying him a knife. Could have just not bought him a knife, whether he liked it or not. Simple as that. And then the next thing is, you know, right to the point, you know, Amber claims that she was getting off or that she was trying to help Johnny get off drugs. Okay, which, if that was the case, kudos to you, but I don't think she was. I think she was more instigating it a little bit because she knows that he is powerless, I guess, when he's on drugs. So she could abuse him, not sometimes physically, but also kind of like mentally abuse him. But, you know, you're taking drugs around him while you're trying to help him get off drugs. Not really a good influence. If you're trying to help him get off drugs, you should not be taking drugs in front of him because that's going to instigate him into wanting to take drugs. You know, there's a lot of problems with that. The juror said that the photographs that she took of him also fell flat. Although the defense used them to show Depp's state after a drug or alcohol binge, the juror said that it failed to make an impact. It really did, because all the pictures that she had of Johnny was him passed out. It was one picture of him passed out with ice cream spilling on him, or whatever. You know, that doesn't prove that he's an abuser. Yes, he did drugs and he admitted it, but drugs does not make you an abuser. I'll be the first one to say that. Drugs and alcohol, yes, alcohol could be a main lead in a lot of abuse case, but not necessarily. I've drank before. I've gotten super drunk before. I've gotten, you know, high before on drugs, and it does not condone to violence all the time. You know, I've never had an incident where I would want to punch someone in the face because I'm drunk. I do that when I'm sober. I think that when I'm sober. And then, you know, like he said, if you mix alcohol and marijuana, you know, that's where you usually end up, passed out. Exactly. We discussed at length that a lot of the drugs she said he used, most of them were downers, and you usually don't get violent on downers. Exactly. Downers do not make you violent. They kind of make you kind of dreary, kind of maybe even in a depressed type state, but you tend to kind of doze off, pass out. You become a zombie, as those pictures show. Exactly. And then I'm glad that he also brought up that you know, he admitted, you know, that Depp admitted to the cocaine use and stimulant. And, you know, Heard obviously testified that he was frequently doing the drugs in her presence. Okay. Now I think this gets onto the makeup. So the juror also said that the jury essentially dismissed all witnesses on both sides who were employees, paid experts, friends, or family from either side. So it looks like that it was kind of down to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's testimony. That's kind of like what it was down to. Which I kind of figured. Also, suspect were the photos that Heard's team presented that perpetrated to show bruising on the actress's face. 2 photos presented near the end of the trial were not credible to the jury, he said. They believed the accusation. So the photos, and I think these were the ones I was talking about, where it was 2 photos, the same photos. One was edited, one was not. It looks like it wasn't credible to the jury, which is perfect. I'm glad that they saw that. They believed the accusation by Depp's team that one photo was edited to artificially redden Heard's face is just bruising. Heard testified the photo looked different because of the vanity light. Okay, you can't prove that it was a vanity light only because he's not in the picture. Okay, you can easily tell that they're the same picture. It's not the picture was not, her in the picture did not move an inch, a millimeter in the picture. Okay, if you have to turn on a light and then take a new picture, there'll be some differences in that picture. Just saying. So, those are 2 different pictures. We couldn't really tell which picture was real and which one was not. I could tell. I could easily tell. So actually, let me actually look these up. I cannot type for the life of me. Let me see if I can find these pictures. I'll show you which ones, because I know this. I'm trying to find which one. I can't remember. Well, let's kind of use these for example. Okay, let's kind of use these for example. So as you can see here, well, actually, these might be it. I don't know. These, I think these might be it. So this one would be the original picture, as you can see. So this picture would be the original picture, of just her being natural with the bruising, obviously. Now this picture, I believe, is the one that she claims where she had the light on. Now, yes, it looks a lot redder and brighter, but then you just change the saturation of the picture. You take that picture, putting it in some kind of editing software program, and I'm pretty sure you can actually do it just from the Photos app on your Apple phone, which they proved that that's what she did. But you can change the saturation of the picture to make it a little bit more redder and a little bit more brighter to make the bruises kind of pop out. See, if she would have just kept this one, it would have looked perfectly fine because you can still see that bruising right around the eye. You don't need this. This just kind of looks a lot like unnatural. Even if it was a light, like why would you do that? It doesn't really, kind of hides a lot of that bruising. This shows more of the bruising. But you can tell by both these pictures that they're literally the same picture. Nothing moved. Same squint in the eyes. Same hair style. The hair would have moved a lot, from her moving to turn on the light, then going back into position. Her hair wouldn't be in the same position. She has the same expression on her face. Like, there's so much about herself in the picture that proves that it's the same picture, just edited to edit the lighting of the picture. So, but that's that. Let's move on. It's too much explaining. So yeah, the jury said that So the juror also said that the defense failed Heard by telling them that the actress never goes outside without makeup on. He said, yet she goes to file a restraining order without makeup on, which is, I'm so glad that they caught on to that, because they, Amber's team claims that, oh yeah, she never goes outside without makeup, whatever. But then they said that, oh yeah, she goes out. She went to get this restraining order on. She didn't wear makeup that day. Whatever. What a coincidence that you're not going to wear makeup on the day that you got the restraining order. And it just so happens to be her publicist was with her. So yeah, exactly. Her publicist was with her to get the restraining order on the day that she did not wear makeup. So very sketchy. Okay, obviously you wanted attention. Obviously you wanted to make a scene. Exactly, those things add up. It starts to become hard. So this $7 million donation, the juror said that the 4-hour debate over the differences between a pledged donation and an actual donation ended up a fiasco for Heard. Exactly. On the stand, Heard testified she never finished donating all $7 million from her divorce settlement to 2 charities because she didn't want Depp to reap the tax benefits by sending her settlements to the charities directly. Heard testified that a pledge and a donation are synonymous with one another, which it's not. A donation is physical. You're physically giving them the money. A pledge is when you promise to give the money by a certain date, or make up some kind of plan to donate, whatever. That's a pledge. The jury was shown video of Heard on a Dutch talk show saying she gave her donations to the charities. The fact is she didn't give much of it away at all. The juror said it was distinguished. I'm not even going to pronounce that. I'm bad with words. But basically it means bad. He blamed Heard's legal team for giving her poor advice, such as looking directly at the jury when responding to questions. All of us were very uncomfortable at that, he said. I agree. And I'm so glad it did make him uncomfortable. Because, from other insights from people that were inside the courtroom in the audience area, has claimed every time that Amber was on the stand, they were looking away. They had their chairs turned away from her. Now, whenever the cross-examination came from Camille, they're more focused on Camille, Amber and all that. But for the most part, on direct, they had their chairs just in the other way. He also said her team had sharp elbows versus being sharp. What? That makes no sense. They would cut people off in cross because they wanted one specific answer without context. They're forcing people to just answer a very narrow question, which is obvious. He said, oh my God, I'm so glad that they brought that up. That, Amber's side just kept cutting people off. She needs better advice, he said of Heard. Oh my God, that's kind of funny. Basically throwing Amber's legal team under the bus for poor advice, which I think is funny. Published in the 2018 op-ed in the Washington Post that defamed Depp was a poor choice. He said, if she didn't do any of this stuff with the op-eds, Johnny Depp could have helped her out in her career. They didn't leave things on a nasty turn when they divorced, he said. It turned nasty after the op-ed. Perfectly said, because it did. It really did. Amber's the one that started this. She brought out the op-ed. He wanted to just divorce and move on. That's it. But no, she had to make an op-ed 2 years after the divorce. After 2 years, you would think you would be over him and moved on. But no, you wanted this op-ed out. The juror denied the jury was swayed by outside forces. He and at least three Others did not have Twitter accounts. Perfect. Whenever they were making a whole fiasco about Twitter tweets and stuff, you know, hashtag Amber Turd, hashtag Amber's an abuser, you know, whatever. That, you know, him and 3 other guys don't even have Twitter, so they can't be influenced by that. And Twitter is probably the Twitter and TikTok is probably the biggest influences of you know, throughout this entire trial. Not so much influencing the jury, but so much influencing everybody else, and just kind of, you know, it has the most, I guess, stuff on it talking about this trial. Some people said we were bribed. That's not true. Social media did not impact us. We followed the evidence. We didn't take into account anything outside the courtroom. We only looked at the evidence. He said they were very serious accusations and a lot of money involved, so we weren't taking it lightly. I am so glad that they took it seriously, because this was a high-profile case. A lot of money. A shit ton of money, and it was very serious accusations, because, you know, she's claiming sex, you know, sexual abuse and domestic DV. Same with Johnny Depp was claiming DV on Amber Heard. So it was very serious accusation, even though no one went to jail because it wasn't a criminal case. But very serious accusations. The juror also said that no one on the jury was starstruck and their individual celebrity never played a factor in their decision. I am so glad that was the case. While he admitted he knew of Depp more than Heard, he hadn't seen many of his films. Okay, fair. And just because you see the films doesn't mean you like the actor. There's probably people that don't really like Depp, you know, and stuff. Which, all right, your opinion. Asked whether he would go to see future movies starring Depp or Heard, jurors said it would depend on the movie. Okay, fair. I do have to give him that. Now, with me, on the other hand, I will never see a movie with Amber Heard on it again. But the moment that Johnny Depp is in a movie, I am going to go see it. What they do in their personal lives doesn't affect me whatsoever. Going to movies is entertainment. I go for the quality of the movie or the storyline, he said, not for the acting. Now, this is kind of like what I kind of disagree on, only from the fact is, like, I agree on the fact of, like, you know, I go for movies for the quality and the storyline. But at the same time, you don't really know the quality of the storyline until you actually see the movie. So, but, you know, acting has a lot to do with it, because I like to see movies with good actors and actresses. Now, he may like these small indie films and stuff, which has smaller cast members and just kind of smaller names that haven't been acting for a long time, just kind of getting out there and stuff like that. But I like to see these big blockbuster movies, you know. Which, matter of fact, go see Jurassic World 3. Go see it now. Like right now. Stop what you're doing. Pause this video. See the movie. Come back. It's amazing. Yeah. Jurassic World was amazing. So that was definitely one of my top favorite movies. And a great way to end the series. So yeah. So please like and subscribe this video. That's the end of this. I will keep you guys updated anything else that comes out. Maybe we may hear from some more jurors and stuff. I don't know. Maybe Johnny Depp will say something. I don't know that either. I haven't heard anything. I know he's been on social media a lot, thanking everyone. So please go support him in his social medias. It'll help him out, help everyone out, because he's amazing. He has another trial coming up next month that we will probably be taking a look at. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be cameras. It may be. I don't know. But I think that trial's still kind of up in the air. So, maybe because of this Amber Heard trial, the guy that's accusing him is probably backing down and be like, oh no, you have Camille on your team. We're not gonna mess with you. So we will see by next month, hopefully. But please like and subscribe. Please check out my Twitch channel, DragonSpike17. Link will be down below. Check out my merch. Link will be down below as well. Check out both my sponsorships. We got SwiftLifestyles.com. So please use my promo code Dragon456 for a 15% discount. And then go to FadeGrips.com. Actually, it's SwiftLifestyles.store, I think. I don't know. It's going to be in the description. Check out FadeGrips.com and use my promo code SPIKE678 for a 8% discount. So go check both them out. They are amazing. And I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching.